I'm talking with Dana Hershey, who is a member of our congregation and also a director of the ESL program with the Twin Lakes School Corporation. ESL is English as a second language. And Dana, can you tell me a little bit about what you do in your position as the director of the ESL program?
Well, primarily, I think of myself as an advocate for those students. And that could be a really broad category. Lots of things could come into that. First of all, I do a lot of training. I take classes. I learn about the best ways that second language students learn, and so I train the teachers. I have workshops throughout the year. Teachers, if they have a particular question, will call me or email, and we discuss, particular questions. I also work with the students. I stay in touch with them, finding out what their needs are, what they feel like they are struggling with, and it's just kind of general advocacy. I do some parenting communications with written work, oversee translating teacher notes and newsletters, that kind of thing.
Dana, you've been a classroom teacher for many years, and I've heard you talk about how much you love to be a classroom teacher. What motivated you to step out of the classroom and into this director's position?
Well, as our ESL population was growing, about 5 years ago, the administration was really started looking at that population and realized that we really were not serving these students. They were struggling, and we didn't have any real focus for them to find out what they needed. And so when I was approached, it really fit into I had no desire at that moment to leave the classroom, but it just fit with my love of missions. I know that, we could travel, and we have traveled and done mission work, but I think this just looked like a mission right here at home. And I just kept coming back to where it says over and over in the Bible about taking care of the alien in your midst. And that just moved me. And I thought, well, I felt like God was dropping that on my lap.
What breaks your heart as you think about what your students face day in and day out?
Well, I know they have to work harder to achieve in school what native English speakers do achieve. But beyond that, and really beyond school, I know I probably don't know all the struggles they have. But I've received some stories from the kids. I know that in the community they are subjected to verbal abuse, I guess you'd say, name calling, and why don't you go back where you came from, and that kind of thing. It might be someone they know, and it might be someone they don't know. I know the parents struggle. In general, the kids know their English, and so I know the families are really struggling because there's an imbalance in the home on the kids' abilities to deal in society more than the parents. I just feel like there often assumptions are made just on seeing a person. They assume that particularly Hispanics, all of the ESL students are not Hispanic, but particularly the Hispanic students are, I think people assume sometimes that that they're illegal. That's the issue, and I think people are very critical. I don't think people understand who is and who isn't illegal. And from my perspective, I'm working with the students at school, and I'll work with them with what they need there. I know it's a hot button issue, political issue, but I know they're just family struggles. I don't think we can realize, and I say, we meaning whites, I don't think we realize what the students might face out in the community in terms of, our kids can walk down the street and go places and may not have this attack of any kind. And so I think sometimes the parents are even more protective of their kids and try to keep them closer to home. And we're like, we may say, well, why don't they get more involved in things? Why don't they go out for sports, or why don't they go out for the clubs? And much of it is a fear for just being outside, away from home and away from family.
How can we respond? How can we do something about the injustices that your students and their families face?
I think it's just a matter of being aware of our prejudices and saying, I don't want to be that way. This is a lovely community. Our family chose to come here. We love the small community. And many of our ESL families are small town people. And they want the same things for their kids. And so I think they deserve for us to welcome them as we welcome anyone else. And to say, we like what we have here and we hope you do too. And let's help you build a life here for your family.
We asked the Pamples to come and speak with us today. I believe a couple days after Christmas, you guys went to Africa, the four of you. I guess we also have the Woolies represented up here as well. And so, but you are related, correct? So the four of them are up here, and they went to Africa a couple days after Christmas. And Larry, why did you guys go take this trip?
Well, a number of years ago, 16 years ago, in fact, because Rachel's now 17 years old, Connie and I had a vision. And the vision was that we wanted to expose our family, because the Lord had blessed us that we could, expose our family to the different cultures of the world. Because in different cultures, what we view as poverty, they might view as abundance. So we needed to change the opportunity to change our minds. And one way that we could do it is, if you cast a stone upon the water, it creates a ripple. And so by taking each of our family members and our 7 grandchildren as they become of age to different cultures, what we hope is there are stones upon the water. We travel with a group called Ambassadors for Children. And Ambassadors for Children's issue is to travel with peace and gratitude and experience grace and joy as you go about wherever you are serve. And what Ambassadors for Children does is they travel not to places or vacation places. They travel into harm's way. They look for the injustices of the world, and that's where they establish their missions. The place that we decided this time to take Rachel and Dodie was Eldoret, Kenya. And if you'll remember a few years ago, in 2007, when you looked on the news and you heard of genocide and you heard of those type of things, it happened in Eldoret. It was a place where there was an election, and Kenya's made up of 47 tribes, and the 2 main tribes changed power. So what it meant was they brought in truckloads of people from the country with machetes and torches, and it was neighbor on neighbor, and it was rape, pillage, killing with machetes, and just created a horrific thing. And I'm sure you've seen the genocide on the newspaper. Well, that's where we decided to take them. And so our intention was that, like I said, they became the stones.